I'm just gonna get started with this lesson. I don't even have a title, so maybe at the end, maybe you all can figure out one. But it's gonna be raw and uncut. All right, all right. And I'm not gonna take too long. I only got a few scriptures, but I don't want to wear everybody out and bore y'all to death.
We still got one more speaker. We got Brother Obadiah's in the house, y'all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Over there, hallelujah. So you're gonna be coming up directly after Brother Yishay.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get started in Isaiah chapter 51. And Josiah will be my reader. Hold on 1 second. Are we all there? All right. All right, go ahead and read. Oh, go ahead. Oh, 51 verse 1.
Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yah, look unto the rock whence you are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are dead.
Stop. So it's telling the people who's looking for righteousness to go from the source of your righteousness. You know, so he's about to go right into it in this next verse. Continue.
Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him.
Stop. Abraham is called the father of the faithful. And because he's called the father of the faithful, that's why this scripture says, let's go to Abraham. You know, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Abraham. I guess the tenet of this lesson is to get away from Hebrewisms or blackisms, you know, where, you know, we want to attribute our righteousness or any term of righteousness attributed to color. You know, we were chosen for a reason.
Right.
And basically, that's what the tenet of this lesson is going to be on, why we were chosen.
Okay.
And in one word, it's because one man obeyed. Not because, you know, the melanin in the skin makes us stronger, or we got the dominant gene, they got the recessive gene, all this and that. No, one man obeyed. How do we know it's because he obeyed as opposed to a genetic makeup? Because when Yahushua died for the world, now the Gentile got that same opportunity to receive the same things. You know, so with that, we're going to turn to Genesis 12. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. All right, we all there? All right, go ahead and read.
Now Yahweh hath said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing.
Go ahead.
And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
Stop. You know, there it is right there. You know, he's giving Abraham what his blessing is going to be. You know, so just to give a point of reference, you know, this is where the covenant starts. You know, and this is the covenant that's going to last forever. You know, this wasn't the covenant that was broken. This is the covenant that's going to stand forever and ever. How do we know that? Because salvation is to the Israelite first, you know, then to the Gentile. You know, so if that, you know, if you say that Abraham's covenant is broken, then salvation couldn't be to the Israelite first, because salvation being to the Israelite first is according to the promise that Yah gave Abraham.
Right.
Continue.
Verse 4. So Abraham departed as Yah had spoken unto him, and Lot went with them. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
Stop. Now I want y'all to pay attention to how old Abraham is, because I just saw something today that I never saw before. You know, but just keep in mind about him being 75 years old. Continue.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Abraham took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came.
Okay.
And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Sikkim, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And Yahweh appeared unto Abraham and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Yah, who appeared unto him.
Stop. You know, so now he showed him the place. You know, this is the land that I'm gonna give your seed, and it's gonna belong to his seed from here on out. Even to this day, that loan belongs to his seed. You know, right now we're just in the punishment phase. You know, so we can't dwell in it now, so it can do whatever it's got to do. You know, but continue.
Verse 8. And he removed from thence unto a mountain unto the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto Yahweh, and called upon the name of Yahweh. And Abraham journeyed going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land.
Okay.
And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter to Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive.
Stop. Now, how old was Abraham? 75 years old, right? His wife is 10 years younger than him. How old is she? And they talking about she fine. You know what I'm saying? 65 years old. You know, and that blew me away, because I never looked at it that way. You know what I'm saying? You know, 65 years old, and he's saying, no, don't say I'm with you, because they gonna hate, and they gonna kill me. You know, so when I looked at that, you know, that just blew my mind. I just had to point that out. But we still, you know, running it all the way down, you know, to, okay, why we were chosen. You know, but this particular chapter that we read talks about, okay, when Yah appeared to him and said, until your seed will I, you know, give the land and the blessings. So if we can go to Genesis 13. Genesis 13. No. Continue with that. After, go to 12.
All right.
No. 13. It's 13, right?
Verse 13.
Verse 13.
Okay,
Yeah.
verse 13, okay.
Yeah.
Say I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abraham was coming into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair.
Confirming it. Go ahead.
The princess also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abraham well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants, and maid servants, and she asses, and camels. And Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife.
Stop. Now, that was a question posed in Power Talk, saying that, is it okay to lie, since Abram lied, you know, told his wife to lie? You know, well, you see what's the result of this. You know, his wife ended up being given to Pharaoh. The minute Pharaoh took her, plagues came up on him. So that wasn't okay. You know, so continue.
Verse 17. And
Oh, no, go ahead. Kedar. You know what? I don't know. Oh. You know, go ahead.
The question was, did Abraham trust Yah, or did he trust his own self?
Abraham he got a little weak.
Yeah.
You know what? Technically, he didn't lie because Sarah was his sister. She was his sister. So he should have been forthright and said, you know, this is my wife.
Yeah.
So he you know, he waffled and got
Still
weak.
touches on fraud, you know. Still touches on fraud, you know. So.
Hey, but what was your answer again? No, you said. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay. We at verse 18. Okay. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh called Abraham and said, "What is this that thou hast done unto me?
What did you do to me?
Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou she is my sister? So I might have taken her to be the wife. Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her. And
go your way."
And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent them away, and his wife, and all that he had.
Continue with the next two. Continue with the next
13,
two. Yeah.
And Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with them into the south. And Abraham was very rich in cattle, silver, and in gold.
Stop. He still left with all the goods that Pharaoh gave him. Pharaoh didn't even want that anymore. You know, he said, just go, just take even what I gave you. Just get out of here. You know, you almost had me killed over some garbage, you know, so that was pretty much it.
So basically, and just like what Shabar said, he kind of wavered a little bit because he saw what was right on them. And
he knew he had a fine 65-year-old wife.
Right.
And knew that they was going to hate. So he said, no, just say you my sister, you know. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 15.
You know what, can I say something about
go ahead,
that,
go ahead.
I mean, it kind of teaches us how we can be self-willed, you know what I'm saying? How the Father is always in control despite all, and that's really what the lesson was for us. It was, you know, even Abraham learning from Abraham, it's like, you know, Pharaoh was like, man, you know, it's all you had to tell me, you know, that was your wife and you trying to save your own, you know, when you got somebody that represents, that's doing it for you, you know what I'm saying? Because you definitely couldn't, you know, but yeah.
Yeah. Genesis chapter 15. And we're about to look at these examples and why Abraham is called the father of the faithful. You know, not only a father to the Israelites, but it's because of his actions. Only his actions. There's nothing good about, you know, there's nothing special about man. You know, but the only thing special about man is his servitude to the Father. You know, and that's what made him and his seed after him blessed. That's why we have the conditions that we have right now. You know, whoever Yah loves, that's who he chastens, or that's who he punishes. This is why we see all this out here. You go to 63rd Street and King Drive. You know, you see the punishment and the fury of Yah. But I'm gonna get to that in the lesson. You know, so Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. Go ahead.
After these things, the word of Yah came unto Abraham in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abraham, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abraham said, Yahweh Elohim, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus? And Abraham said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yah came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir.
Okay, go ahead.
And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness.
Stop. Plain and simple. He believed Yah, and it was counted to him for righteousness. And if you believe something, then you'll do what's required, you know, that Yah will give you to do. Genesis chapter 17.
You notice how the Father kind of rebuked him a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, where you said, where you see that at?
In the first verse, when he says, Fear not.
Oh, fear not. I am your, right. Okay. Verse 17.
Right.
chapter 17.
Right.
And we're going to start at verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared unto Abraham and said unto him, I am El Shaddai, walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Hallelujah.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abraham, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee.
Okay.
And kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be an Elohim unto thee, and to thy seed after thee.
Okay.
And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
And Elohim said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generation.
Stop. Now he's talking about covenants, keeping this covenant. Continue.
This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and this shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generation, he that is born in a house or brought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed.
Uh-oh. So not only his seed, but any stranger, anybody that's bought underneath that same umbrella, that same roof,
Household.
you know, that same household has to be cut. Just like the blood of Yahushua covers us all. When the Gentile decides, you know, my father have inherited lies, I need to come to one that's an Israelite and, you know, sup with him and he with me. You know, now he must come under that same covenant. One law for all.
Right.
Continue.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
He that is born in thy house and he that is brought with thy money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
How long?
Everlasting.
Okay, go ahead.
And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
Uh-huh. Now he about to switch it on him. Go ahead.
And Elohim said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be.
Uh-huh.
And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
Uh-huh.
Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
Stop. You know, there's no new thing under the sun. You know, Sarah's room was shut up, just like Rebecca, Jacob's second wife. Oh, Raquel. Yeah, Raquel. Also Mary. You know, she didn't even know a man. And that was another miracle birth. So there's no new thing under the sun. If you want to know what Yah's, I'm paraphrasing somebody else. This ain't mine. If you want to know what Yah's going to do tomorrow, look at what he did yesterday. Simple as that. Continue.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
And Abraham said unto Elohim, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And Elohim said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with the seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left out talking with him, and Elohim went up from Abraham.
Continue.
And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day as Elohim had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him.
Okay, stop. You know, so in that self-same day, he didn't even hesitate. You know, he just went and did it. At 99 years old, so I know that had to be hard, a hard thing to do. You know, so...
it's hard at 25.
Yeah. 25. Okay. Let's go to Genesis chapter 22. Another example of Abraham's faith that we should follow. Genesis 22 and verse 1. Huh? Oh, okay. You want to be all right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Verse 1?
Yeah, verse 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after these things that Elohim did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and said, Behold, here I am.
Stop. You know, so he's telling Abraham, I'm giving you all these blessings, and through your seed, also all the nations of the earth be blessed. But no, I got to check you out a little bit. You know, so let me see what you're going to do. You know, so continue.
And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah.
Stop. You know, so you understand that he had a son, another son, Ishmael, but this one said your only son, Isaac. Now I'm one of them people who read the Quran.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, try to, you know, say that through Ishmael, Muhammad came and all this other stuff. And even reading the book, you know, it talks about Ishmael's history with Abraham and all this and that. Well, that might have been true, but, you know, they acknowledged that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had existed, which means that they know that the covenant belonged with Abraham. Then they know about this foreskin covenant. And if that's true, then by definition, this is true. Because in the Quran, it says, by the witness of 4 or more people is every matter confirmed. And they confirm this over and over again in the Quran. So by definition, by Islamic standards and biblical standards, this is true. Continue.
In the middle of
verse 2. Middle of verse 2.
And offer him therefore a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went to the place of which Elohim had told them. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. He said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for a burnt offering?
Stop. You know, so his son want to know what's going down. He like, what? Wait a minute, you know, we going somewhere, but where the lamb at? You know, so go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
And Abraham said, My son, Elohim will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
Stop. You know, so Abraham didn't even leave off the mission. He just said Elohim will provide a lamb. Whether he believed that or, you know, but you getting ready to go and sacrifice your own son. Would you have that in your mind to say Elohim will provide? You know, that was a faithful saying. Continue.
And they came to the place which Elohim had told them of, and Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yah called unto him out of heaven, said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest Elohim, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
There he said it again. Go ahead.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, I want to comment real quick.
Oh, go ahead, please do. Go ahead.
Yeah, like when you had mentioned the Quran, because Muslims, like some Muslims are real crafty. Like, since when did Isaac be his only son, being that there was Ishmael?
Right.
They don't realize that he was gone. He told Hagar calls her to go take
Absolutely,
his son and
absolutely. And he didn't want to send him away.
Right.
You know, so yeah. Yeah. I'll continue.
Where I'm at, 13?
Yeah, 13.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind them a ram caught in a thicket by his horn. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son.
Stop. Not only did Yah take his son away from that execution stake, but at the same time, Abraham's words were indeed faithful. Elohim did provide a ram.
Right.
He provided a burnt offering.
Right.
So he knew that one way or another, something was getting sacrificed.
Right.
Continue.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
And Abraham called the
Stop for a second. Okay. Should we continue to do that? Huh? Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 14.
Verse 14.
Abraham called the name of that place Yahweh Yireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of Yahweh it shall be seen. And the angel of Yahweh called unto Abraham out of heaven a second time and said, By myself have I sworn, says Yah, for because thou hast done this thing and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Why?
Because of Abraham's faithfulness.
Why? Right after that.
Oh, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Because you have obeyed my voice. Because that's the only reason. Ain't nothing special about us. Ain't nothing all this or that. Because Abraham obeyed his voice. If we do what Abraham did, then by definition, we'll have the same things that he did. Along with the stranger also. And with that, I want to go back to Isaiah 51. To reiterate why I went back there, why I started with that one. Huh? Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead. 51. Verse 1. Yeah, go ahead.
Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yahweh. Look unto the rock whence you are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are dead. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you.
Okay.
God called them alone, and blessed them, and increased them.
Stop. Skip down. Skip down to verse 7. And go ahead.
Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men.
No. Go up to verse 6. I'm sorry.
Verse 6.
Yeah, verse 6. That's what I was looking at.
Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished.
Stop. You know, so a lot of people, what represents, or what is the light for Yah's righteousness? It's the laws that we keep.
Right.
You know, we're not, absolutely, the obedience to that law. You know, that law is never abolished. Continue.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their revilings.
Stop. You know, so with that, it's like when you begin to follow, when you begin to keep the law, when you begin to follow Yah in spirit and in truth, yeah, now men are going to start ragging on you like the brother Shabbat was talking about in the lesson. You know, don't even be afraid of that. You know, don't be afraid of all this out here, that people are out here looking at us, and, you know, that's going to happen. You know, Yahshua said, I didn't come to bring peace. I came to bring a sword. You know, and that's happening. Continue.
For the mouse shall eat them up like a garment,
and
the worm shall eat them like wool. So my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation.
Stop. You know, so that's the reason why. You know, there's a scripture in Psalms that says, when the wicked do flourish, or when you see all this wickedness out here and people getting rich off this wickedness, it's because that they should be destroyed forever. You know, and the worm is going to literally eat them up in the lake of fire.
Yes.
You know, where the flesh worm die not and the fire is not quenched. You know, so we're going to skip over into verse 52. We're almost done. Chapter 52. Chapter 52. And there's something else, because it was something else that I was trying to... so another one of those things where you learning something on your way to learning something.
Right.
Let's see. Start at verse 1. Go ahead.
Isaiah 52:1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
Okay.
Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Stop. You know, so basically, mean shake off the dust. You know, that's that dust that you used to sit in, the ashes of mourning or whatever. And right now, we're in mourning. We are in mourning. You know, so there will come a time we're going to shake off those ashes. We're going to take that bind away from our neck. We're going to be really free. You know, we think that this is freedom right now. This ain't freedom. You know, so, you know, especially when we got people in control of us, you know, who, well, not in control of us, but people who rule in this world who don't fear Yah. You know, there's a problem with that. You know, so continue. Oh, continue.
Verse 2, shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. But thus says Yahweh, ye have sold yourselves for nothing. You shall be redeemed without money.
Oh, stop. Read that again. Read that again. For all, no, I want to say, this to all these people talking about reparations. Continue.
But thus says Yah, you have sold yourselves for nothing, and you shall be redeemed without money. But thus says Yahweh Elohim, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now, therefore, what have I here, says Yahweh, that my people is taken away for nothing? That they rule over them, make them to howl, says Yah, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. Therefore, my people shall know my name.
Oh, stop. You read that again. Read that again.
Therefore my people shall know my name.
So if it don't matter, then why is he saying this here? That's just plain and simple. Continue.
Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doeth speak. Behold, it is I.
But at the same time, with all this knowledge, comes the next verse. We have to keep this in mind.
How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publishes peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publish salvation, and said unto Zion, thy Elohim reigneth.
All right, and that's what I wanted to read with that one, because even with all this knowledge, you know, there's still a certain amount of peace that we must have, a certain amount of tolerance or temperance. You know, so if you come and let's say that you're contentious, or you know, always looking for a fight because you know this word, you know, that gets us nowhere. You know, nowhere at all. I don't care what somebody else know. We don't know where they came from. You know, and at the same time, to be non-tolerant of another person because they don't know what we know, right. You know, that's sin in itself, because we were where they were at one point. You know, so absolutely. And who's to say that Yah didn't send you to that person to come to them with a kind word? But there is a time when you do fight, but for the most part, we seek after peace.
Right.
The last chapter of the lesson is in Galatians chapter 3. We're going right back to Abraham. You know, just to sum this whole thing up. All right, we're just gonna run right through this. Right. Go ahead.
Galatians chapter 3, verse
1. Galatians chapter 3, verse 1.
O foolish Galatians, who hath bewitched you that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Yeshua HaMashiach hath been evidently set forth, crucified among you. This only would I learn of you: receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith? Are you so foolish, having begun in the Spirit, are you now made perfect by the flesh?
All right, stop. You know, so having begun in the Spirit is almost like starting in this thing, how we all did, and because we know it, we think we got it. You know, but there's a certain amount of physical performing of the law that we must do. I mean, we got to get that heart right and the mind right. But if this belief is true, then our walk is going to reflect that. Continue.
That's correct.
Hallelujah. Oh, go ahead. You was going to... Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Have you suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain? He therefore that ministered to you the Spirit and worketh miracles among you, doeth he it by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith?
Here come Abraham. Go ahead.
And as Abraham believed Elohim, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. As Scripture, foreseeing that Elohim would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed. There
you have it again. You know, and there's that covenant right there. Namely in verse 7. You know you therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. Well, this is the same as when he was actually here. He said, anybody who is in your house that is not, you know, of your seed, they shall be circumcised. This is what that is talking about. You know, so they're the same as Abraham's children. Continue.
Verse 9. But then they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, curses everyone that continue and not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
Read that again.
For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
Okay, continue.
But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of Elohim, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith.
Stop. So we can sit here, we can, you know, get circumcised at the same time. We can wear the culture, we can have the fringes and the chorus of blue, you know, but if your heart ain't there, it means absolutely nothing. If you don't have love along with all that other stuff, if you don't have peace to bring your brother, if you don't have any of that in your heart, all this performance of the law that you're doing and keeping the feast days, because we see those type of people all the time. If you ain't got love, if you don't have it, all this stuff means absolutely nothing. Continue.
Verse 11, but that no man is justified by the law in the sight of Elohim, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith. And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them.
Stop. There it is again. But if you do them, you know, the man that lives by faith, if he do those laws, that's where his life is. Continue.
Messiah had redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. What is written, curses everyone that hangeth on a tree.
And a lot of Christians try to use this to saying that if we keep the law, you know, then we're cursed of the law. No, the curse of the law is death.
Right.
That's the curse. You know, it's a blessing to keep the law.
That's right.
You know, so in the law is our life.
That's right.
Continue.
Verse 14, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yishay HaMashiach, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant. Yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulled it or added thereto.
Okay.
Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made.
Okay.
He said not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed which is Messiah.
That seems to explain itself, you know, but go ahead.
And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of Elohim and Messiah, the law which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of none effect.
So what law is it talking about right here? Is it talking about the moral law, thou shalt not kill, anything like that? No, it's talking about what, the Levitical priesthood and the sacrificial law. That's the law it's talking about. You know, that's the thing that can't take away, you know, the word of Yah. But continue.
But the inheritance be of the law, it is no more promise. But Elohim gave it to Abraham by promise. Why then serve the law? It was added because of transgression. Till the seed should come to whom the promise was made.
Stop. You know, so now we know that this is not talking about the moral law. When it said, wherefore then serves the law, it was added because of transgressions till the seed should come. Who was that seed? That seed was Messiah. What happened to him? He got sacrificed. So now we know that this is talking about the sacrificial law. You know, so continue.
And it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. Now, a mediator is not a mediator of one, but Elohim is one. Is the law then against the promises of Elohim? Elohim forbid. For if there had been a law given which could have given life, barely righteousness should have been by the law.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
But the scripture has concluded all under sin, that the promise of faith of Yishay HaMashiach might be given to them that believe.
Plain and simple. Go ahead.
But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed.
No, and see, and the thing is about that, before faith came, belief was always here. You know, myself, when I look at that, I really don't know what Paul means unless somebody can add some clarity. But I do know that belief was always already here, because Abraham had faith. You know, Abel had faith. You know, even Adam and Eve had faith until Adam listened to his wife, you know, and killed the entire creation. But continue.
Well, the thing is that it came to a point where we trusted in our own obedience.
I see.
Not our own, but our own works, our own so-called understanding, and not give the glory to the Father.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I know churches that would go days on end and don't even mention the Father's name one time, not giving glory to the Father and his salvation, because we can't save ourselves.
Right, right.
Even though they had the law, they could not save themselves, because why he said earlier, because he had concluded that all are under sin. And in another place, come short of the glory of Elohim.
Okay.
But once you under that sin, you need to be justified.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
only be
Oh,
justified
absolutely.
by one thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Told her. Continue. I think we had 24.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Messiah, that we might be justified by faith.
Stop. That schoolmaster was the sacrifices. Schoolmaster being something that teaches you, or an example.
Also the judgments too.
Oh yeah, and the judgments. But the schoolmaster being that, okay, we keeping these things, we're going to sacrifice, but when Yahushua is sacrificed, that's done because we done enough of that practice. You know, it's almost like the sacrifices was like, let's say, football practice until the game actually came. You know, and the game was when Yahushua was finally sacrificed.
Right.
And that was it, once for all, and that's why that stopped. Because the sacrifices was the schoolmaster, and the Messiah was the real deal. This is why I say he was sacrificed once and for all for the sins of the world. Continue.
25.
Uh-huh.
After the faith has come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster.
Oh, okay.
For you are all the children of Elohim by faith in Yeshua HaMashiach.
Stop. I think you just came to me just now. You know, because it said, but after the faith has come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster. So before Yahushua was sacrificed, you know, we had a whole lot of Pharisees and we had the Levites doing the performances of the law, and they got caught up in that. You know, they got caught up into the routine. They got caught up with it so much that they created certain traditions, the washing of pots, pans, and all this and that. You know, when Yahushua came and just kept healing people and said, let it be according to your belief. Let this be according to your belief. Let that be according to your belief. Oh, I'm sorry, continue.
I was going to add that when he says the faith, he's pointing at, he's looking at Yeshua.
Uh-huh.
Because in Hebrews 11, he outlines faith as was brought out
Right.
from Abel forward. But these men were sinners.
Yeah.
But we had Yeshua, who was just as faithful as Abraham
Right,
without sin.
right,
Who was
right.
just as faithful as Enoch without sin. So he was the one to reveal what faith to us really is without sin, so that he becomes a model for us to walk out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks for that, bro. Because I couldn't have said that one better. I was hoping that somebody would say something, you know. But that's what I was thinking, though. I was thinking along that same line, but I couldn't have said that any better. Continue.
Okay, verse 26. For you are all the children of Elohim by faith in Messiah Yeshua. For as many of you as have been baptized into Messiah have put on Messiah. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for you are all under Messiah Yeshua. And if you be Messiahs, then are you Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise.
And that's the lesson. You know, so anybody got any questions?
Questions, comments?
Questions, comments? Yeah, because with that one, you know, this whole thing that we under, the whole protocol, the covenant between Israel and the Gentile, and I'm glad that it ended like that, because there's no difference, because there's one law for all. You know, there's one Elohim, one purpose, one salvation. You know, not your personal salvation, but one salvation that occurs to all people. You know, so, and if we adhere to that and we live like faithful Abraham, who's the father of the faithful, then by definition, you know, we are indeed heirs according to the promise. You know, so with that, yeah, hallelujah, and that's my lesson. Yeah, yeah.
What I got, I don't have a lesson, because we had some lessons, excellent lessons, but what I'm going to do is just give a message to sum up things and just talk about where we are as far as everything, just where we are in prophecy, where we are in our walk, just overall where we are as Israel. Because as I was coming here today, I came on public transportation, I came through Grant Park, I came through the Taste, and I seen